This is NOAA Weather Radio, all hazards, station WXL40, serving the lower Susquehanna Valley and surrounding areas, from the National Weather Service in State College, Pennsylvania. Here is the hazardous weather outlook for the following counties: Adams, Cumberland, Dauphin, Oneida, Lancaster, Lebanon, Perry, Schuylkill, and York. Today and tonight, some snow showers left over from a clipper system will continue to move through the lower Susquehanna Valley through this morning and move out before lunchtime. Additional snow totals of 1/2 inch to an inch is likely, with 1 to 2 inches in the heaviest bands. The heaviest bands of snow could cause visibility to drop to nearly 1/2 or 1/4 of a mile at times, but visibility will remain above 1 mile through the leftover bands. Day 2 through 7. Friday through Wednesday. A winter storm, which is likely to be named Charlie, is expected to move through the northeast from late Monday night into early Wednesday morning. As of the most recent model runs, heavy snow will overspread a very large area of Pennsylvania for most of Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Snow totals are expected to be 25 to 30 inches currently, with lower amounts south of 78, with 20 to 25 inches expected. Winds are currently being forecasted to be 25 to 35 miles per hour, with gusts up to 45 to 55 miles per hour. A blizzard watch is likely to be issued across most of Pennsylvania by Saturday evening. Other than this potential blizzard, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement: spotter activation is not needed as of right now. Here are the 6 a.m. conditions in the Harrisburg area. In Harrisburg, there was a snow shower. The temperature was 19 degrees, the dew point was 20, and the humidity was 10%. The wind was light and variable. The pressure was 30.15 inches and falling. In York, it was cloudy. The temperature was 20 degrees, the dew point 22, and the humidity was 10%. The wind was light and variable. The pressure was 30.17 inches and remaining steady. Some nearby conditions at 6 a.m.
Good morning, and this is 10 Winds. Winds news time is 10 o'clock. Our top stories focused on a potential major Christmas Day snowstorm for most of the Northeast. Now named Charlie is moving through the Midwest and dropping heavy snow throughout the area. Snow totals of over 16 inches have been reported in parts of Kansas already, with another 8 to 12 inches expected for those areas. Snow for area should move in late Monday night and should move out slowly by Wednesday afternoon. Snow totals are expected to be extremely high for this time of year, and snow totals across the region of 25 to 30 inches, with locally higher amounts possible in the higher terrains of Pennsylvania and New Jersey. However, recent model runs have been suggesting heavier, more widespread snow totals across the area of 3 to 4 feet, but this is yet to be brought into consideration. With this winter storm, however, brings new concerns to the Northeast. About 2 days ago, an AF2 tornado hit the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant in California, and there is the possibility that there are still levels of radiation within the storm as it hits the Northeast. Anyone in the Northeast should monitor this situation as the days progress. In other news,
Here is the updated hazardous weather outlook for the lower Susquehanna Valley. Today and tonight. No hazardous weather is expected. Day 2 through 7. Sunday through Friday. From Monday night through Wednesday afternoon, Winter Storm Charlie is expected to have significant impacts on the lower Susquehanna Valley with heavy snow and strong winds. As of the latest model runs, snow is expected to overspread the region by midnight Tuesday, and a steady snow is expected to continue for several hours Tuesday. By mid-afternoon Tuesday, The heaviest of the snow will begin to move into the region, with the heaviest rates of 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour through Wednesday morning. Snow begins to slow down in intensity by midday Wednesday, and continues moderate before tapering off by late afternoon Wednesday. Snow totals, while still some uncertainty, will be around 36 to 48 inches, with locally higher amounts of 50 to 55 inches in the mountains. There is a likelihood, however, that blizzard conditions will occur for most of the storm, especially from early Tuesday morning into Wednesday night, with blowing snow continuing into Thursday morning as the winds decrease by then. By the time the storm is over, any threat for any significant weather ends. Spotter activation statement. Spotter activation will. Blizzard watch in effect from 10 p.m. Monday to 6 p.m. Wednesday. The National Weather Service in State College has issued a blizzard watch from 10 p.m. Monday until 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What? Heavy snowfall and strong winds will occur across the watch area. Some uncertainty still remains, but snow totals are expected to be 30 to 40 inches, with 40 to 48 inches of snow in the higher elevations in the Susquehanna Valley. Winds are expected to be 35 to 50 miles per hour, with gusts of 70 to 75 miles per hour. Where? Lower Susquehanna Valley. When? From 10 p.m. Monday to 6 p.m. Wednesday. Additional details. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Heavy snowfall rates will be extremely consistent for most of the storm, with an average of 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. From mid-morning Tuesday to lunchtime Wednesday, snowfall rates could reach as high as 3 to 4 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. Blizzard conditions will drop the visibility to near zero, and travel will be impossible due to these conditions. Temperatures will be in the upper teens, and with strong winds, wind chill values could be as low as 30 below during the peak of the storm, and this could lead to frostbite in minutes if outside for extended periods of time. Precautionary preparedness actions. A blizzard watch means severe winter weather conditions are expected or to occur within the next 12 to 48 hours. Falling and blowing snow with strong winds and poor visibilities are likely. This will lead to whiteout conditions, making travel extremely dangerous. Do not travel. If you must travel, have a winter survival kit with you. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511.
Hi, Tom Bodette. There are times when it's really important to leave the lights on, like when you're looking for a clean, comfortable room for the lowest price of any national chain, the way Motel 6 always does. Or like when you're hosting a championship football game that's watched by just about everybody on the planet. Awkward. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and
this is WAEB 790 AM. We have interrupted regular programming to bring you important information. A blizzard watch has been issued for our area. Please stay tuned for this message.
Blizzard watch in effect from 10 p.m. Monday to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday. The National Weather Service in Mount Holly has issued a blizzard watch for the following counties. In Pennsylvania, Berks, Bucks, Carbon, Lehigh, Monroe, Montgomery, Northampton, Pike and Schuylkill. And in New Jersey, Hunterdon, Mercer, Morris, Somerset, Sussex and Warren. What? Heavy snowfall and strong winds will occur across the watch area. Some uncertainty still remains, but snow totals are expected to be 30 to 40 inches, with 40 to 48 inches of snow in the higher elevations in the Poconos and Warren and Sussex counties in New Jersey, especially 800 feet and above. Winds are expected to be 35 to 50 miles per hour, with gusts of 65 to 70 miles per hour. Where? Northeast Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey. When? From 10 p.m. Monday to 6 p.m. Wednesday. Additional details. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Heavy snowfall rates will be extremely consistent for most of the storm, with an average of 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. From mid-morning Tuesday to lunchtime Wednesday, snowfall rates could reach as high as 3 to 4 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. Blizzard conditions will drop the visibility to near zero and travel will be impossible due to these conditions. Temperatures will be in the upper teens, and with strong winds, wind chill values could be as low as 30 below during the peak of the storm, and this could lead to frostbite in minutes if outside for extended periods of time. Precautionary preparedness actions. A blizzard watch means severe winter weather conditions are expected or to occur within the next 12 to 48 hours. Falling and blowing snow with strong winds and poor visibilities are likely. This will lead to whiteout conditions, making travel extremely dangerous. Do not travel. If you must travel, have a winter survival kit with you. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511.
We're back after that blizzard watch. As you have heard, this storm is expected to be a possible record-setting storm for that amount of snow expected. One thing that has not been brought up is the concern of what the effects of the storm could have on the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station in Harrisburg, as due to the extreme cold and strong winds, enough of this could lead to a potential meltdown. Already, the plant officials are expected to close down the plant when conditions deteriorate Tuesday morning. However, if the plant being shut down does not go the exact way they plan on, it could lead to a meltdown and even a possible explosion. This is unlikely though, but the main concern is the time frame that the storm is hitting. Remember, Monday is Christmas Eve and Tuesday is Christmas, and several people have already planned to travel several days ahead before models suggested a possible snowstorm. If you are traveling for the Christmas holiday, you should complete it by Monday night before conditions go downhill. If you travel while the storm is going on, you will not be able to see most likely and you will most likely crash. Travel bans are expected to be in effect across Pennsylvania by the time that the blizzard watch goes into effect. A state of emergency has been declared as of 11 a.m. Saturday, and all schools and minor businesses are to be closed Monday through Thursday if there is no Christmas break. Major stores like Walmart, ShopRite and CVS will remain open until 8 p.m. Monday, then will close until after the blizzard watch expires by 6 or 7 p.m. Stay tuned to this station for the latest breaking news on approaching Winter Storm Charlie, which is now bearing down on the Midwest. Now back to normal programming on WAEB.
Here is the situation overview on Winter Storm Charlie. Winter Storm Charlie continues to bear down on the Northeast with the threat of extremely heavy snowfall, hurricane-force wind gusts possible, and extremely cold wind chills. Here are the more in-depth details of the storm. Track models are still consistent in the track of the storm going through Maryland, before a second low-pressure system intensifies extremely fast as it passes west of the 4070 benchmark, still producing very heavy snow into the day after Christmas. The track is expected to go through Maryland and out of Delaware, possibly clipping extreme southern New Jersey. The main low dissipates, then the stronger low forms as the main low weakens. The track of the stronger low is expected to hit Massachusetts before heading into Canada. Snow is expected to be very widespread across most of the Northeast, and could fully cover several states at times, especially on Tuesday and early Wednesday before it rapidly moves out. Snow totals for our area is expected to be now as 40 to 48 inches, with 48 to 60 inches in elevation above 900 feet in the Poconos and the mountains of New Jersey. Snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour are likely for most of the storm when heavy snow does not fall. When heavy snow does fall, however, snowfall rates could be as high as 3 to 4 inches per hour, with a few spotty bands producing 5 inches an hour. This 3 to 4 inches per hour likelihood will be from Tuesday morning to Wednesday morning. Snow tapers off across our region by Wednesday evening. Wind. Winds are expected to be a significant threat with Winter Storm Charlie. Sustained winds of 40 to 55 miles per hour, with gusts up to 70 to 75 miles per hour across our region, with a few 80 miles per hour wind gusts. Wind is expected to cause widespread power outages combined with the snow. With the wind threat, however, will bring the wind chill values down. Also, with the concern of the wind, the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station may suffer a meltdown if there is damage from the excessive wind combined with snow. Strong winds may last into Thursday morning as the very strong low pressure leaves the region with the leftover winds. Temperatures. Temperatures are expected to be very cold for most of this storm, mostly in the upper to middle teens. Associated with the wind, it may feel extremely cold outside with the strong winds, and feels like temperatures could be as low as 15 below at times. The possibility of being outside for more than 20 minutes will lead to frostbite. Even in several layers of clothing you will get frostbite in a matter of minutes and could lead to death. When inside, make sure to have your heat turned on all the way for when the power likely goes out. Attempt to keep warm for as long as possible. This is NOAA Weather Radio, All Hazards, Station WXL39 out of Allentown, Pennsylvania, on a frequency of 162.400 MHz. This programming originates from the National Weather Service in Mount Holly and is broadcasted off a tower near. Blizzard warning in effect from 7 p.m. Monday to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. What? Very heavy snow and very strong winds. Totals are now expected to be 50 to 60 inches, with locally higher amounts up to 66 inches in elevations above 900 feet. Where? Northeast Pennsylvania and northwest New Jersey. When? From 7 p.m. Monday to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. Additional details. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Heavy snowfall rates will be extremely consistent for most of the storm, with an average of 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. From mid-morning Tuesday to lunchtime Wednesday, snowfall rates could reach as high as 3 to 4 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. Blizzard conditions will drop the visibility to near zero and travel will be impossible due to these conditions. Temperatures will be in the upper teens, and with strong winds, wind chill values could be as low as 30 below during the peak of the storm, and this could lead to frostbite in minutes if outside for extended periods of time. Precautionary preparedness actions. A blizzard warning means severe winter weather conditions are expected or occurring. Falling and blowing snow with strong winds and poor visibilities are likely. This will lead to whiteout conditions, making travel extremely dangerous. Do not travel. If you must travel, have a winter survival kit with you. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511. Wind chill watch in effect from Monday night to Friday morning. What? Very cold wind chills possible. Cold wind chills as low as 25 below zero will cause frostbite in as little as 30 minutes to exposed skin. Wind chills could range from 0 to 25 below zero. Where? Northeast Pennsylvania and northwest New Jersey. When? From Monday night to Friday morning. Additional details. Due to the possibility for widespread power outages across the area from Winter Storm Charlie, you should make every attempt to keep warm if the power does go out. If you can, find several blankets and find the warmest place in your house to stay in until temperatures finally rise to average by Friday. Precautionary preparedness actions. A wind chill watch means there is the potential for a combination of very cold air and the wind to create dangerously low wind chill values. Monitor the latest forecasts and warnings for updates on the situation. At 1 p.m., at the Lehigh Valley International Airport, it was partly cloudy. The temperature was 34 degrees. This is an important message. As of 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all NOAA weather radio stations in the states of New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Northern West Virginia, Western Connecticut, and Western Massachusetts will interrupt from normal programming and go into severe weather mode due to Winter Storm Charlie, as Charlie is expected to drop record-setting amount of snow, very strong winds, and a likelihood of power outages. If your main NOAA weather radio station goes off the air, tune to a backup one as long as it is opened. Please stay tuned for the latest information. Here are the latest warnings in effect as of 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A blizzard warning is in effect for the following states/areas. All of Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, anywhere in New York south of Interstate 90 to Syracuse, be anywhere east of Interstate 81 to the Canada border, western Vermont, western Massachusetts, and western Connecticut through Thursday morning. A blizzard watch is in effect for the following states/area. All of Maryland, northern West Virginia, northern Virginia, including Washington, D.C., all of Delaware, central and eastern Connecticut, central and eastern Massachusetts, eastern Vermont, all of Rhode Island, and all of Maine through Saturday morning. Here is the current situation overview for dangerous Winter Storm Charlie. Winter Storm Charlie continues to impact the Midwest, and its outermost showers are moving into western Pennsylvania as of this evening. Here is the 7-day outlook for the Allentown area and surrounding areas. Tonight, partly cloudy early, becoming mostly cloudy overnight. Lows near 20. Winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Christmas Eve, cloudy. Snow showers developing in the afternoon. Highs near 30. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour, increasing to 25 to 35 miles per hour, with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Chance of snow 60%. Christmas Eve night, snow likely. Snow may be heavy at times. Lows in the upper teens. Winds east, turn to the south at 30 to 40 miles per hour, with gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Chance of snow 100%. Snow accumulations of 6 to 10 inches. Locally higher amounts possible. Christmas Day, heavy snow for most of the day. Snowfall rates of up to 3 to 4 inches per hour sometimes during the day. Temperatures steady in the upper teens. Wind south, turning west at 40 to 55 miles per hour, with gusts up to 70 to 75 miles per hour. A few 80 miles per hour wind gusts are possible. Chance of snow 100%. Snow accumulations of 18 to 24 inches. Locally higher amounts possible. Christmas Day night. Heavy snow for most of the night. Snowfall rates up to 3 to 5 inches per hour during the night. Temperatures steady in the upper teens. Winds west at 45 to 55 miles per hour, with gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Chance of snow 100%. Snow accumulations of 20 to 24 inches. Locally higher amounts possible. Heavy snow early, becoming steady by the mid-morning. Snow continues steady until it turns into snow showers by Wednesday evening. Temperatures steady near 20. Winds west at 35 to 50 miles per hour, with gusts up to 65 miles per hour. Chance of snow 100%. Snow accumulations of 12 to 16 inches. Wednesday night, snow showers early, becoming mostly cloudy after midnight. Lows around 8 to 12. Winds west at 25 to 40 miles per hour, gusting to 55 miles per hour. Chance of snow 70%. Additional snow accumulations of 1 to 2 inches. Storm totals of 4 to 6 feet. Thursday, partly cloudy. Highs in the upper 20s. Winds west, turning to the east at 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting to 45 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear. Lows between 13 and 16 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs near 30.
This is 10 Winds. Winds news time is 4:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It has now been confirmed that the rapidly spreading rumor that started earlier yesterday of a massive meteor reportedly heading towards Earth is false. About 10 minutes ago, NASA officials completed observations on the sky and determined that there was no meteor anywhere near the Earth to produce any sort of damage on Christmas. It is also now confirmed that the person that made the statement was indeed a past NASA official who had recently just quit from the Kennedy Space Center. Now that any threats to a false meteor strikes are put aside, the Northeast prepares for one of the worst winter storms ever to hit the region. Blizzard conditions are already spreading into parts of western Pennsylvania as of this morning, and snow showers have begun to spread into areas east of Interstate 81. Snow totals across Ohio, while unconfirmed, have been reported to already be above a foot of snow in less than 8 hours, with the rate only getting worse. Several FM stations across the area to be affected have basically headed home to spend time with their families, and are simulcasting NOAA weather radio stations. We will be staying on air as long as we can during the storm, but due to the intensity of the storm, we may have to go to a backup generator before Christmas night. New York City is expected to see 60 to 66 inches, with higher amounts closer to the New York and New Jersey border, where up to 6 feet could fall. Okay, we are getting an emergency alert system from the end deck. Stay tuned for this message. This is 1010 Winds. Winds new time is 4:15 a.m. and this is the emergency alert system.
Extremely dangerous winter storm Charlie bears down on the Northeast and new information is being released. The following message is being transmitted by the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, along with the conjunction of the National Weather Service. This message is a shelter-in-place warning for anyone under any winter weather advisory, watch or warning. Reports have confirmed that there are still extreme levels of radiation that could be lethal to life and property. Reports have come in from across the Midwest that lethal levels of radiation have caused several injuries and fatalities. Anyone within the Eastern time zones hearing this message must shelter in place immediately. To shelter in place, go inside and lock all doors and windows. Get into the most interior room of your house and make sure to tape up any cracks or anywhere radiation could get inside your home. Bring enough supplies, such as food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries, blankets to keep yourself warm. Stay tuned for more information on this extremely dangerous situation.
We are back after that message from the emergency alert system. As you have just heard, a shelter-in-place warning is in effect for basically the entire Northeast United States ahead of extremely dangerous winter storm Charlie. Radiation levels are still confirmed to be lethal and deadly across states of Ohio, Indiana and now western Pennsylvania, prompting an extension of the shelter-in-place warning from the states of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Northern Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont and Maine. Also with this message, we've been told that as of the time that the blizzard warnings go into effect, all stations will go into emergency programming to broadcast information on this dangerous winter storm. Travel bans are expected to go into effect at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and will remain in effect until further notice.
Luckily, all schools across the Northeast have some sort of Christmas break this week lasting into the new year, and we are all hoping that schools will be able to open after New Year's Day so that no snow days are wasted due to this storm.
Right before we head into emergency programming, it's time to play a new hit that has just recently blown up and is whitelisted on YouTube. 22 million views and uploaded 3 months ago. This is the new hit song Shooting Star by Anna Yvette. As of now, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will now enter emergency programming here on Wave 104.1 and 790 will now go into emergency programming. However, we will be leaving the station, and we are leaving this station to simulcast weather information off of WXL 39, and if needed, KZZ 31. However, our other station, 790 AM, will remain on the air with emergency programming until the storm ends. We will be back after the storm. We wish everyone here the best of luck and stay safe.
Here is a special weather statement for our listening area. Snow showers are starting to become a steady snow across the area. Travel across the area is being prohibited as of 6 p.m., but due to near whiteout conditions across the area already, if you are on the road and within 35 minutes of your destination, travel to your destination. If you are not, find the nearest shopping place and stay there until the storm ends or unless told other. Darkness across the area is also worsening the visibility, and as the evening goes on, it will only be worse. Blizzard warning in effect from 7 p.m. Monday to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. What? Very heavy snow and very strong winds. Totals are now expected to be 50 to 60 inches, with locally higher amounts up to 66 inches in elevations above 900 feet. Where? Northeast Pennsylvania and Northwest New Jersey. When? From 7 p.m. Monday to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday. Additional details. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Heavy snowfall rates will be extremely consistent for most of the storm, with an average of 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. Snowfall rates of 3 to 4 inches per hour are likely during the peak of the storm. Blizzard conditions will drop the visibility to near zero and travel will be impossible due to these conditions. Temperatures will be in the upper teens, and with strong winds, wind chill values could be as low as 30 below during the peak of the storm, and this could lead to frostbite in minutes. Precautionary preparedness actions. A blizzard warning means severe winter weather conditions are expected or occurring. Falling and blowing snow with strong winds and poor visibilities are likely. This will lead to whiteout conditions, making travel extremely dangerous. Do not travel. If you must travel, have a winter survival kit with you. If you get stranded, stay with your vehicle. The latest road conditions for the state you are calling from can be obtained by calling 511.
Good early morning, New Jersey and surrounding areas. It is now officially Christmas across the Northeast. However, a steady snow continues across our listening area. Snow total reports across of our listening area have generally been around 4 to 6 inches already, with another at least 5 feet expected through Wednesday evening. Winds have already increased to above blizzard criteria and is expected to stay this way for possibly another 48 hours. Some totals have already been reported above 7 inches, especially in the Pocono Mountains. However, there is growing concern already at the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station in Middletown, Pennsylvania and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. It is being reported that if the storm does continue at a peak for more than 8 to 12 hours, that it is currently predicted to do, major power outages could occur that could lead to a meltdown at both plants. Other power plants that are being monitored are the Limerick Generating Station in Pottstown, Pennsylvania and the Susquehanna Steam Electric Generator. Anyone within a 5-mile radius of these plants are now under a voluntary evacuation, if it is possible to evacuate due to events possibly happening at all 4 nuclear generating stations. Like what the hell are the odds of all 4 plants exploding and causing a national emergency? It will happen.
That's called foreshadowing.
A severe snow squall will affect Berks, northwestern Montgomery, central Lehigh, and northwestern Bucks counties. At 4:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a severe snow squall was located over Spring Ridge, or near Reading, moving east at 45 miles per hour. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour are possible with this severe squall. Locations impacted include Allentown, Reading, Emmaus, Wyomissing, Birdsboro, Kutztown, Hamburg, Fleetwood, Sinking Spring, Loyaldale, East Greenville, Wernersville, Topton, Leesport, Shoemakersville, Valley, Burnville, Bechtelsville, Green Lane, and Lyons. Visibilities will drop quickly to near zero in this severe squall. Use extra caution if you must travel into or through this dangerous snow squall. Rapid changes in visibility and potentially slick roads are likely to lead to accidents. Consider delaying travel until the squall passes your location. Conditions can deteriorate rapidly in winter weather situations. Be prepared for snow or ice-covered roads. Slow down and allow extra time when traveling. A severe snow squall will affect west-central Morris, northern Hunterdon, southwestern Sussex, Warren, central Monroe, and northeastern Northampton counties. At 3:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a severe snow squall was located near Columbia, or 17 miles southwest of Newton, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. Wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour are possible with this severe squall. Locations impacted include Easton, Newton, Hopatcong, Forks, East Stroudsburg, Hackettstown, Wilson, Wharton, Washington, Blairstown, Nazareth, Bangor, Mount Arlington, Stanhope, Penn Argyll, Bitcong, Wind Gap, Belvedere, Harmony, and Oxford. Visibilities will drop quickly to near zero in this severe squall. Use extra caution if you must travel into or through this dangerous snow squall. Rapid changes in visibility and potentially slick roads are likely to lead to accidents. Consider delaying travel until the squall passes your location. Conditions can deteriorate rapidly in winter weather situations. Be prepared for snow or ice-covered roads. Civil danger warning. The following message is being transmitted by the request of the New Jersey and Pennsylvania State Police. Due to heavy snowfall, strong winds creating whiteout conditions, and deadly levels of radiation in the atmosphere, travel is being banned across New Jersey and Pennsylvania unless it is an emergency. This means no snowplows, no road departments, or any sort of traffic unless you have a medical emergency or it is an emergency vehicle. When you arrive at your destination, make sure to take the proper actions to shelter in place unless further told to do so. To shelter in place, go inside and lock all doors and windows. Get into the most interior room of your house and make sure to tape up any cracks or anywhere radiation could get inside your home. Bring enough supplies, such as food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries, blankets to keep yourself warm. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio or a local media outlet for more information on this deterring situation. The following message is being transmitted by the Warren County Sheriff's Office. This is a power outage advisory for all of Warren County until further notice. With the extreme blizzard conditions occurring, widespread power outages have occurred across the county, with nearly 85% of the county without power. It is expected that the entire county will lose power by this evening, and power will most likely be out for several days, possibly even weeks if damage is extreme enough.
This is WAEB. We have interrupted regular programming to bring you a special news report from Pennsylvania and New York. About 5 minutes ago, an eerily similar event occurring at both the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station in Middletown, Pennsylvania, and the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. At the same time about 5 minutes ago, a critical power outage occurred at both plants, and power still remains out to both plants. Temperatures in the reactors have risen to threatening levels, and a possible partial meltdown may occur within the coming hours, maybe even minutes, depending on how much longer this outage occurs. Officials inside both plants are attempting to figure out what has happened and working to find a solution. In other news, snow continues to fall across the area, with amounts of up to 35 inches already being reported across parts of Pennsylvania and New York.
However, the main concern still remains the two nuclear power plants, 3 Mile Island and Indian Point. With the weather already occurring and the critical power outage still happening, the worst is likely to happen, with the threat of a possible national emergency growing by the minute. Temperatures in the Indian Point reactors are rising to above normal, and this is the possibility that a partial meltdown may occur at any minute. Speaking of that, we are getting an emergency alert system from the New York State Police. Stand by for this message.
The following message is being transmitted by the request of the New York State Police. This is a local area emergency for residents within a 10-mile radius of the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. At around 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a critical power outage occurred at the Indian Point Energy Center. Within the past 2 hours, power has been failed to be restored, and a partial meltdown at reactor number 1 has occurred just moments ago. All residents within a 10-mile radius are now under a mandatory evacuation. When evacuating, make sure to start your vehicle well in advance to evacuating due to extremely cold temperatures. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries and a flashlight. When you have evacuated outside of the 10-mile radius, find a safe shelter to go to. Also, the voluntary evacuation is now in effect from 75 miles from the Indian Point Energy Center. Anyone within a 75-mile radius should now be to prepare to evacuate or shelter in place. Please stay tuned for more information on this developing situation.
This is WBRT. We have an emergency alert system going out for our area. Please stay tuned for this message that may have vital information.
The following message is being transmitted by the request of the Pennsylvania State Police. This is a local area emergency for residents within a 10-mile radius of the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station in Middletown, Pennsylvania. At around 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a critical power outage occurred at the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station. Within the past 2 hours, power has been failed to be restored, and a partial meltdown at reactor number 1 has occurred just moments ago. All residents within a 10-mile radius are now under a mandatory evacuation. When evacuating, make sure to start your vehicle well in advance to evacuating due to extremely cold temperatures. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries and a flashlight. When you have evacuated outside of the 10-mile radius, find a safe shelter to go to. Also, the voluntary evacuation is now in effect from 75 miles from the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station. Anyone within a 75-mile radius should now be to prepare to evacuate or shelter in place. Please stay tuned for more information on this developing situation.
We're back after that emergency alert system. It seems that the situation is going downhill at 3 Mile Island. Stay tuned for more information.
This is WHUD 100.7. We have breaking news out of both nuclear generating stations in New York and Pennsylvania. Power has finally been restored after 6 hours of power being out to both power plants. It has now been confirmed that the power outages were on purpose, and there may have been an explosion for an explosive device near both reactors that were set to detonate at the same time. This may have been an act of terrorism, and the weather has only worsened the situation. Apparently, any attempt to cool the reactors have failed and the plants may suffer complete meltdowns at any point. For the 3 Mile Island, all 3 reactors are at a risk, but only 2 reactors at Indian Point are at a risk of melting down. Officials have confirmed that this will likely happen within the next 2 hours, and if that doesn't happen, then the plants have successfully been cooled to safe temperatures. Anyone somehow hearing this broadcast still, due to significant power outages, you should prepare to evacuate and stay tuned for more information on this developing situation.
This is WBRT on 94.9 FM. We continue to broadcast more information on both nuclear generating stations. As of the last reports, both plants remain at a very high risk of suffering a complete meltdown at both power plants, all 3 and 3 Mile and reactors number 1 and number 3 at the Indian Point Energy Center. At this point, a worse situation is likely to occur as temperatures inside nuclear reactors reach nearly 600 degrees Celsius. Our reporter near the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station has since left and evacuated away from the plant. She has not, however, returned to our station to give us more information due to the threat facing our station. We here at WBRT are prepared to evacuate and simulcast information from WXL40 until the station gets knocked off the air. We just gotta hope for the...
Jessica. Listen, there are sirens going off outside. I think the nuclear generating station is suffering a major meltdown. Come on, we gotta get prepared to evac.
The following message is being transmitted by the request of the Pennsylvania State Police and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is a nuclear power plant warning for residents within a 100-mile radius of the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station in Middletown, Pennsylvania. At 8:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Christmas, a power outage occurred at the plant, and 6 hours later, power finally returned to the plant. However, due to the long time of the power outage, the reactors have overheated, and a severe release of nuclear materials have occurred at all 3 reactors. All residents within a 100-mile radius of the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station must evacuate immediately. This includes the states most of eastern and central Pennsylvania, most of western New Jersey, northern and central Delaware, most of Maryland and parts of northern Virginia. If you are in the mentioned areas, or you hear this message, you must evacuate immediately. However, you are advised that evacuations should occur to the west and the south, as the Indian Point Energy Center is likely facing the same fate at this time too. Shelters are being set up in Pittsburgh, Richmond, Buffalo, Erie, and Cleveland. When evacuating, make sure to bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries that can last up to 2 weeks. Remember, do not evacuate north or east, as the Indian Point Energy Center is likely to face the same fate shortly. If you have family outside of the evacuation area, go there instead of a shelter so that there is enough room for people who need shelter. Contraflow is being enacted on several highways heading away from the power plant. Please stay tuned for more.
This is WCBS, and we have breaking news out of Middletown, Pennsylvania. A significant disaster is underway after all 3 reactors at the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station have suffered complete meltdowns. With this happened, it is almost without a doubt that the 2 reactors at the Indian Point Energy Center. We have a reporter on the scene near the Indian Point Energy Center. James, how does it look out there?
Lily, it's horrible. I can just see the heat just coming from the reactors of how warm it is. The snow is actually melting basically anywhere within a 1-block radius of here because of how much heat is coming from the reactors. I'm actually really warm right now, and it's not getting any colder despite wind chill values 20 below. It feels like it's 66 degrees here. I just hope they can get this situation under control. There are sirens going on. This isn't good. The reactors are now melting down. I can see them. I gotta get out of here now.
Well, looks like we lost connection with James, as the situation has deteriorated. Attention, this is a nuclear power plant warning. Stay tuned for this message.
Nuclear power plant warning. Nuclear power plant warning. Nuclear emergency in effect for the New York City and surrounding suburbs. The following message is being transmitted by the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the New York State Police. This is a nuclear power plant warning for residents within a 100-mile radius of the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York. At 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a critical power outage occurred at the power plant, and reactors 1 and 3 have been unable to recuperate from the power outage that ended nearly an hour ago, and both reactors have had a significant meltdown as of 3:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All residents within a 100-mile radius of the Indian Point Energy Center must try to evacuate. If you cannot evacuate, shelter in place until further to do so. If you evacuate, head north or east if you are north of the power plant. Do not evacuate westward into Pennsylvania, as the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Evacuate if possible, and if you cannot, shelter in place. When evacuating or sheltering in place, make sure to bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries that can last up to 2 weeks. Remember, do not evacuate westward, due to the disaster also occurring at the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station. If you have family outside of the evacuation area, go there instead of a shelter so that there is enough room for people who need shelter. Please stay tuned for more information on this deadly situation. Repeating, this is a nuclear emergency for New York City and surrounding suburbs.
Well, that was definitely something. We will be evacuating, however, we will simulcast other stations not evacuating yet until we can possibly set up in an area to safely do so. We will be back, but stay tuned for more information.
This is 95.9 FM, also on 1240 AM, WGVA, your source for local news, weather and sports. The time is currently 3:19 AM Eastern Standard Time, and we have some quite disturbing news out of both Buchanan, New York and Middletown, Pennsylvania. At 3 AM Eastern Daylight Time, the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station suffered a catastrophic meltdown at all 3 reactors. Moments later, The Indian Point Energy Center then suffered a catastrophic meltdown at reactors number 1 and 3. Evacuations are underway across several states, and traffic is already nearly at a halt across New York City. Here at the Finger Lakes, we are not in any evacuation zones or at any threat for nuclear materials. This may change in the coming hours as it becomes light by 8 a.m. We are expected to see another 12 to 16 inches across the Finger Lakes before snow ends late afternoon today. The highest snow totals have seemed to be south of here, and that is expected to continue to trend for the rest of this storm. In our listening area, the highest report of snow has been 47.6 inches near Ithaca, New York, due to our proximity with the Robert M. Guinner nuclear power plant in Ontario, New York. Anyone hearing this should be prepared to evacuate or shelter in place just in case an event occurs. However, no significant damage has been reported yet. However, some minor damage has occurred. Stay tuned to this station for more information. Now back to normal programming.
Well, in my opinion, for the situation that is already ongoing, a 100-mile radius is kind of small for both generating stations for how much radioactive materials have been released. We just gotta hope that these remains the only two that have an.
This is an important message. The following message is being transmitted by the request of the New York State Police. At 6:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a partial meltdown occurred at the Robert M. Guinner nuclear power plant in Ontario, New York. Since the first reports of damage at around 3:15 a.m., the plant has deteriorated in conditions and a partial meltdown has occurred. There is a small release of radioactive materials into the atmosphere, but not as significant as originally predicted to be. Therefore, all residents within a 20-mile radius of the Robert M. Guinner nuclear power plant must shelter in place. Make sure to bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a battery-powered radio with batteries that can last up to 2 weeks. Do not evacuate, as roads across the area are impassable, and whiteout conditions continue to overspread the region. Stay tuned for more information on this developing situation.
Well then, I don't think anyone saw that coming. Luckily, we're not within the radius that needs to shelter in place. Anyone in our listening area that is in the 20-mile radius should shelter in place now. We will now continue with our normal show time, as we are not directly affected.
At 8 a.m. at the Lehigh Valley International Airport, heavy snow was falling. The temperature was 14 degrees, the dew point 0, and the relative humidity was 12%. The wind was The following message is being transmitted by the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A civil danger is now in effect or residents within a 150-mile radius of both the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station and the Indian Point Energy Center. As of 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple large fires were occurring at both nuclear generating stations, and the possibility of these plants releasing significantly a lot more materials is likely. All residents still within the 150-mile radius must shelter in place due to impassable roads across the entire area, and whiteout conditions continue across the area. Power has also been lost to the area and the power plants again, and any attempt to put out any fires have failed due to the temperatures. If you are still attempting to evacuate, find the nearest shelter as the possibility for any evacuations is impossible, as several people have been infected with radiation sickness. Stay tuned for 44444444444. 011001100111111110011001100110011001100.
Yeet. You didn't expect this, didn't you? I'm back from the original, and time to end off this scenario.
The following message is being transmitted by the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A civil danger is now in effect or residents within a 150-mile radius of both the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station and the Indian Point Energy Center. As of 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple large fires were occurring at both nuclear generating stations, and the possibility of these plants releasing significantly a lot more materials is likely. All residents still within a 150-mile radius must shelter in place due to impassable roads across the entire area, and whiteout conditions continue across the area. Power has also been lost to the area and the power plants again, and any attempt to put out any fires have failed due to the temperatures. If you are still attempting to evacuate, find the nearest shelter, as the possibility for any evacuations is impossible, as several people have been infected with radiation sickness. Stay tuned for more information on this developing situation. a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple large fires were occurring at both nuclear generating stations, and the possibility of these plants releasing significantly a lot more materials is likely. All residents still within a 150-mile radius must shelter in place due to impassable roads across the entire area, and whiteout conditions continue across the area. Power has also been lost to the area and the power plants again, and any attempt to put out any fires have failed. We interrupt our programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President.
My fellow Americans, the situation facing the Northeast is the worst that we have ever seen. Along with the extreme blizzard conditions, a total of now 3 nuclear power plants have suffered some sort of meltdown. However, we have disturbing news out of the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station in Middletown, Pennsylvania. At 11:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station suffered a catastrophic explosion due to the excessive amount of fires at all 3 the reactors, causing a massive explosion to occur at the plant. There is even more radioactive materials in the air, and this is expected to spread across the Northeast. Also, the blast radius was unusually large, and it was reported that the blast radius destroyed anything with 65-mile radius, causing destruction and mass casualties across central Pennsylvania. We can't check for anyone that remains until fallout moves out of the area, and with the blizzard impacting, most of the fallout will move out with the storm. All residents within a 300-mile radius of the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station must seek a fallout shelter if possible due to extreme amounts of fallout likely. If you are still trying to evacuate, try to evacuate outside of the now 300-mile radius. If you can't find a safe shelter, get inside a building and protect yourself from the outside world. This is definitely a dark day in our history, and could be worse if the Indian Point Energy Center explodes too. Please stay tuned for more information.
That was a message from a representative of a president. We will now return back to the emergency. Please stand by from a message from an unknown sender.
Hello. You probably don't know who I am, but I'll give you a hint of what I done. You know those two plants, 3 Mile Island and Indian Point, and how they were blown up? Well, I think it's time to confess that it was me, and this has been planned out since early December. I meant to do this, and it was for the sole purpose of trying to get officials at both plants to close them down faster, but apparently any attempt I made to close them failed. On a cold December morning, I decided to secretly hide a bomb at both plants within 3 hours of each other by taking a helicopter that I hijacked from the police department and somehow got away. I hid already them in a cylinder-like shape that was exactly like to something there. I somehow got away with it without anyone knowing until the day I decided to cause them to explode on Christmas. What I didn't want to do was basically cause an entire national emergency. I'm just going to end it here. Thank you and goodbye.
That was a message from an unknown sender.
This is WPTT 640 AM out of Raleigh, North Carolina. We have some breaking news out of Buchanan, New York. We have a live camera from the area and it seems like that the plant is nearly on the verge of suffering a massive explosion due to the large fires occurring at all 3 reactors. We can't show the camera, but we can tell you what you see. The amount of heat radiating from the fires is insane, and even though it's snowing heavily, it's just changing over to rain somehow, and all the snow is gone and it's just a mess there. Oh, what is this I am seeing? It's not good. It seems like the plant is about to just explode due to all the pressure and fire there. It has only gotten worse it seems like, and only the camera just cut out. I think the plant finally exploded an hour after the 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station. This is a disaster in the making. We will have to interrupt our programming due to now a national emergency in effect again. Wait, this isn't a national emergency, this is a global emergency. Stay tuned for this message.
We interrupt our programming. This is a global emergency. Important details will follow. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President. Stand by for a message from a representative of the President.
My fellow Americans and anyone else hearing this message, I have even more disturbing news to say. The President is at a safe location as this situation continues to escalate. At 12:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Indian Point Energy Center in Buchanan, New York has suffered a catastrophic explosion has occurred at the plant. This blast was so powerful that anywhere with a 75-mile radius was immediately destroyed, and everyone was most likely killed or significantly injured. Unfortunately, New York City was reportedly completely flattened, and looks like it had never been built. Fallout is likely to spread across the entire East Coast. Also, with the massive explosion, it has been reported that several nuclear power plants have had a chain reaction, and fallout is likely to spread into the Midwest and into Canada and possibly into Mexico. This is the reason why this is a global emergency, due to the extreme amount of fallout spreading across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Anyone getting this broadcast should seek a fallout shelter now. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Other nuclear power plants are likely to explode shortly. If your station goes off the air, you should remain tuned for more information on this situation. Remain tuned for information.
This is a National Information Center statement at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Radioactive materials from the total of 31 nuclear generating stations have begun to move out of the area. Finally, 2 days after the storm ended, fallout is slowly disintegrating and leaving the area. However, it is too dangerous to go outside due to extreme damage and lethal levels of radiation. This is still an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Stay in your fallout shelter until an all-clear message is relayed. If you have run out of supplies, call 911, and if they can reach you, they will bring you supplies. If they won't be able to reach you due to damage, wait in your shelter until the emergency action termination is issued or it has been 14 days from this message. Stay tuned for more information on this situation.
This is an emergency action termination. As of 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, all radiation that was in the area that was in the emergency action notification is mostly gone. There is some radiation in the atmosphere and in the ground, but it is no longer hazardous enough in order to cause radiation sickness. All residents that were in their shelter may now exit their shelter. However, if your house was destroyed, shelters have been set up across the affected areas, and you may head to a shelter if you have no home. From the shelter, you should stay there until you can live with family that have home or until your house can be rebuilt. Repeat, if you are in shelter still, you may now exit your fallout shelter. This is an emergency action termination. All broadcast and cable systems must transmit this message. All stations may now return to normal programming.